Okay, thank you everyone. Let me introduce Eto Koichiro, coming from Japan for visiting professorship at EHESS France Japon Foundation. He is both a media artist and a senior researcher at the National Institute for Advanced Industrial Sciences, and he has created several artwork, including an exhibit called An Unowned Model of the Internet. He's working on user participation and has created a large-scale research platform called Nico Gakkai Beta, connecting public citizens with researchers. So I will let him present his keynote entitled "The Function of Fiction in the Development of Information Technology." Thank you, Koichiro.
Thank you very much for introducing me. I'll start my presentation. Can you see my slide?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for introducing me. My name is Koichiro from Japan, AIST. AIST is the national laboratory in Japan. At the first, I'm sorry for my bad English. At the first, I started my career as a media artist. Media artist is something like to create artworks using computer or such kind of high technology.
Mr. Eto, I'm sorry, I think we're seeing your presenter view and not the other view of the slides. We're not seeing the slides full screen.
Okay, I'll check. Is this okay? No?
No, it's still the case. I mean, it's readable, but it's still...
Okay. Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Then I'd like to talk about my artwork. This is, I'll show you a video. This is a work called Web Hopper. I created this work in 1996. It's a very early stage of World Wide Web. You see this screen in the circle world map. You see the line is moving on the world map. This is a real-time tracing of web hopping. You see, for example, someone watching a website in the USA, then click a link to the Europe. Then in virtually, you can see the user is jumping from America to Europe. This is a real-time tracing of visualization of web hopping. Including this work, we a censoring project received a Golden Nika of Grand Prix of Pre-Ars Electronica. So this work, Web Hopper, becomes the permanent exhibition in the Ars Electronica Center. Then this is called Internet Physical Model. You can see the white table in the front of the user. You see he is putting white and blackboard in the slot. You can create a packet using white and blackboards. The 16 balls is one packet. Then he send a packet to the internet. This is a router. So a packet goes through the internet from router to router. This is routing table. This router distinguishes this packet should go out from the local area network or go inside the network. Then the packet go to the destination terminal. In this destination terminal, the display shows the inside content of the packet. You can see a character A because this packet contains only one character. So this packet contains a character. Today, this work is created 20 years ago, 2001, but today, 2021, you also can see this work in Tokyo. So this is a background of the technology. Then I'd like to talk about my influence about science fiction. From the childhood, I'm very influenced by science fiction. I read many books by Arthur C. Clarke or Isaac Asimov or Heinlein. Then, especially, I'm very fascinated by this book. Neuromancer is written by William Gibson in 1984. I love this work very much, and I influenced by this work novel very much. From this book, I accepted this paragraph. I like this paragraph very much because he written about the traffic of the network. This is a pre-history of the internet, but he write this very specific speed of the internet. For example, in this paragraph, he said that if you visualize the internet traffic by 1 gigabyte per second, it becomes very white-outed because 1 gigabyte per second traffic is very common in this age. But if you slow down the visualization, for example, 1 terabyte per second or 100 terabyte per second, then you can see the connect of city and city. This is very great prediction of, by science fiction, I think. And also another book from same author, William Gibson, and with Bruce Sterling. This book is called The Difference Age. Charles Babbage is the inventor of this difference engine. You see the real model in this difference engine in London. But as you know, he did not completed this difference engine in his age, 1820. But in this science fiction, he completed this difference engine and also analytical engine. So as you know, I created internet physical model. It's a representation of a black and white balls of the internet connection. This is how can I say this is influenced by this novel. So I created the steampunk version of the internet by my own model. Then I'd like to talk about Nico Nico Gakkai. Nico Nico Gakkai beta is something the press to create the same field between our professional researchers and wild researchers. Wild researchers means the citizen scientist. He is not a professional researcher, but he created something new or invent something. So we'd like to combine their knowledge to our professional knowledge. I created this place on the internet using Nico Nico Douga. Nico Nico Douga is the Japanese version of YouTube. I'd like to show you a video of Nico Nico Gakkai.
少しお時間をください。
You see my video of Nico Nico Gakkai beta. The very special character of this platform is you see a comment. Comment is scrolling from right to left in this video. This is a big difference between YouTube and Nico Nico Douga. We professional researchers do our own presentation, but they do the presentation in very rapidly. We do a presentation only 1 minute per one research. So we do presentation in 100 research presentation in 90 minutes. And also, we are inviting world researchers from Nico Nico Douga. They created a very interesting their own invention. For example, a person created a hand clapping robot or a 3-meter high, very big robot the users can ride. And also, I'd like to talk about the 2011 was the, how can I say, in the disaster of, there's a disaster in Japan. So there's a big disaster about earthquakes. So not only earthquake, our plant in Fukushima was collapsed. So we researchers would like to invite the citizen to create new frontier of science because they thought that the science is evil or a scientist is responsible for this disaster. So we created this platform because of that. I'd like to talk about the science is not special thing because we can create it. We are a professional researcher, but it's not only the science is not only for professional researchers. It's for for ordinary people. This is the background of Nico Nico Gakkai. And also, I'd like to talk about one science fiction novel called 南極点のピヤピヤ動画. This book is only in Japanese, sorry. But this novel is very interesting because he, Nojiri Hosuke, is the author wrote a novel about the users in Nico Nico Douga do the big research, big invention to change the world. So I, influenced by this novel, I created the new platform, Nico Nico Gakkai, to invite users to science field. So I thank you to Nojiri Osuke. And finally, I'd like to talk about current fellowship. As 2020 FFJ Air Liquid Fellow, I'll do my research in this year, study of cognitive differences between Europe and Japan on artificial intelligence generated creations. Background, I'd like to talk about the works by world researchers. For example, Mr. Todo Takayuki created a simple, small, cute robot called Shear. This robot is showing their facial pattern in only moving eye and bow. So this is very cute robot, but they don't talk or move their mouth. And also another project is by Ichihara Etsuko. Her project is called Digital Shaman Project. In right side, this robot by Pepper representing a dead person. In Japan, there is a traditional that a dead person remain in real space in 49 days. So her represented the tradition to using this robot. So this robot act as a dead person in 49 days and talk with living human, so our people. And we talked with dead person with this robot. Then with 49 days, then robot becomes a soulless robot after that. This project is very interesting because they use robot technology for friendship, or I can say very relativity near person. So this becomes the new culture of in Japan. And another example, this picture shows created by Scott Eaton. His work is very interesting because he is using a human body as, but he connect a human body, not only ordinary human, but he connect differently in this computer graphics image. And I'd like to introduce interview to European artists using artificial intelligence. So I'd like to do my cognitive experiment by using their creation. I'd like to talk. I'd like to finish my presentation. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, really, Koichiro. The comparison between Europe and Japan is of particular interest for this conference. As we're a little bit late, maybe we can wait until the wonder